I'm 62 years old. And if you're a woman in your 20s or 30s right now, I want to tell you something that I wish someone had told me when I was your age. Now, if you grew up with abuse or neglect, if love in your family was mixed up with fear and chaos and loneliness and people always letting you down, the world that you're dating in right now is going to mess with your head. It tells you that you can keep things casual, that sex is just fun, that you should be fine with no labels, no promises, no expectations, no dating even, just hooking up, that you're just unevolved if that leaves you feeling ashamed and sad afterward. Consent and a condom. What could go wrong? Now, no matter how you try to fit yourself to other people's ideas about what you're supposed to be cool with, your real self is going to cry out for what you really need. Love. It's love. You need love. There is nothing more natural than to want that. And casual sex makes you have to push that need down. I mean, it's such a primal need, but you have to pretend it's not there. You don't have to do that, You don't have to abandon yourself and loan your beautiful, amazing self out to people who don't care about you, who act one way before sex and then very differently afterward. Do you know what I'm talking about? So you maybe learn to hide your hope that they would call you again. Have you been hard on yourself because when you didn't hear from them, you texted them? Well, that's you fighting against one of life's most powerful energies, attachment. Attachment. That's what sex is for. Because sex comes with the possible creation of life. It also comes with attachment. And you should not attach to just anyone who comes along. That can exhaust your resources. That can drain you. That can demoralize you. Attachment is meant to come along with your wisdom, your discernment about who belongs in your life or at your side, because no matter how casual you try to be, sex is going to prompt your instinct for attachment. And this is an emotional and spiritual and physiological phenomenon. And the first time that it was damaged for you was during neglect in your childhood, when you had to fight for the full and unconditional love of both parents. That was your birthright. It was meant to form you as a loving and lovable being with natural wisdom about the proper use of your instinct to attach. But if you didn't get that and you had to fight for love, and this got carried into your adulthood, it's so easy to blame yourself in your first relationships when you don't get what you want for wanting more, for having your heart broken like, I wanted that to be something. And yet it's this weird thing where we feel ashamed. With that attachment wound, it's so easy to be fooled by attraction and attention and touch, and even the good intentions of someone who, thing is, you just met, so you don't know. It's so normal for traumatized people to get flustered in the early stages of dating. You may never have even learned the signs that someone would make a good partner for you. By the way, I have a list for you of what are the signs of a good partner, because if they don't have those signs, you don't date them. Don't date without this list with you. You can download your own copy. I'll put it down in the description section in the top row. Signs of a good partner. Sex is bonding. That's not an opinion. It's biology, and that's what it's for. Most people feel that pull to connect after sex, even when they tell themselves that they don't need that. They can keep it light. That's normal. It's built into us because from the beginning of time, sex came with the potential to form a family, and with that, the instinct to stay close with your partner. What's different for people who grew up with trauma is the intensity of that bond and the depth of the crash that follows when casual sex doesn't turn into a real relationship. When someone pulls away after you've become attached, the loss doesn't just hurt. It can throw you into confusion and shame and depression and self-blame. And every time it happens, it leaves a little more of a scar. So this isn't because you did something wrong. It's because your attachment mechanism is doing what it's supposed to do, but without enough time to know whether the person you bonded with was truly a good match for you, whether they were sincerely interested in you and capable of being the right person to go the distance and be your partner in life. That's why pacing matters. Slowness, it's not a game to manipulate other people. It's a way to activate your discernment and give it some room to happen for you to see the truth of a relationship. It's how you give reality enough time to show you who this person really is before your heart, your body, your chemistry, your finances, where you live, and all of that is tied to them. So here's what you can do. Number one, be clear about what you truly want. You'd be surprised how many women who I coach can't name it. Like they actually do have a heart's desire, but they feel they've been so programmed that they can't claim it. Like if they want marriage, they will almost never say that up front. So it's okay. That's a good thing to want. So be clear about what you truly want. Before you even start dating, write it down. What are the must-haves, the traits that matter most in a partner for you? What are the nice to haves? And what are the things that you cannot and will not tolerate? When you spell this out, like in writing, on paper, this helps you recognize alignment when it's there and see early when it's not there. This list isn't about, finding the perfect person. It's about protecting yourself from wishful thinking and keeping your choices anchored to your real values. This is how you can stop making the same mistake over and over again. Through my own experience, I know how easy it is to fall into that repetitive pattern. All right, number 2, slow the timeline way down, deliberately. When you meet someone promising, take your time, weeks, even months. Not as a test for them, but as a way to let real life show you who they are. In that time, you'll see how they handle conflict, whether they keep their word, whether they're consistent, whether they're kind, whether they're trustworthy. Attachment will form whether you end up sleeping with them quickly or after a long period of getting to know them. Attachment will form, but the slower you go, the more those early hopes can stay grounded in what is true. Number 3, keep your eyes open and your heart steady. Pay attention to how you feel after being with this person. We do this in friendship, a friendship gut check, but it can also be a dating gut check. So how do you feel? Do you feel calm and uplifted or anxious and off balance? Because real connection settles you. It doesn't make you scramble for reassurance. It doesn't make you scared all the time what they're really thinking. Number 4, when you feel the urge to rush, pause. The part of you that wants to move fast is the wounded part, trying to make sure that you're not going to get left. You can thank that instinct and still choose not to obey it. So give yourself time to re-regulate before you act or reach out to try to push the relationship forward. When you can hold steady through that wave, you're already on the path to healing. Number 5, notice how your life changes when this person is in it. Do you become a better version of yourself, on your toes, calmer, more focused, more connected to the world, taking positive steps forward? Or are you losing sleep, feeling jealous, distracted, skipping your healthy routines, disappearing from friends, pulling away from meaningful activities? These are signs. It's information about who you are with this person. Now, if the relationship is dragging you down, that's the truth of the relationship being revealed. And the same goes for when a relationship lifts you up and brings out the best in you. And that's a very good sign that this may be the real thing. This is discernment, and discernment takes time. Number 6, hold your standards quietly. You should have standards, but you don't have to be shouting them. You don't need to debate or defend them. You simply live by your standards. The right person will recognize it as strength and integrity, not resistance or game playing. Now, the wrong person will fade away, and that's your discernment in action, helping show you who is not the one. It can be painful, it can be disappointing, but it's a lot of why we didn't have the courage in the past to have standards and hold them, is because we thought, oh, no one, I'll be stuck with nobody, but you would be surprised. In my life, when I finally set my standards, after many hurtful disappointments, I said, I got to do this a new way. And I set my standards, and I had a quiet spell in my life. I only ever dated one person after that, and he's my husband now. My standards were so clear that nothing else got through. And it didn't take long. It didn't take long to meet him. I want you to think about this. You will save so much time by not getting entrapped and embroiled and entangled in dead-end relationships that when you look back, you could have seen that it wasn't going to work out. So you get very clear what you're going to need, and then you invest your energy. It doesn't guarantee that it's all going to work out, but it's much more likely to, and when it does, it's much more likely to lead to a fulfilling life together for you. Now, a lot of people ask me, where can they learn all of this? I teach a course. It's an online course full of all these lessons and a lot more about how to overcome trauma-driven patterns in the way that you date and form relationships. It's called Dating and Relationships for People with Childhood PTSD. Very exciting title, very literal, I know. And I'll put a link to that down in the description section in the second row, just under this video. It's a very popular course. So if you had to fight for love as a kid, your nervous system doesn't know how to relax around uncertainty, especially when your capacity to attach and love another person are involved. You want answers. You want reassurance. You want proof. Now, I totally get it. That's always how I was too. That's what drives fast attachment, though. You have to override that demand for, I gotta know, I have to have this. Because when you rush in like that, what it really is an attempt to calm fear. You're just trying to get that fear to go away because you're so tired of tripping out about it. So it's like, let's just get this settled. Let's just push it all the way and then see if I get dumped. But real love doesn't come from speed. It comes from the truth of your relationship gradually revealed over time. The love, if it's there, it's going to be unmistakable when it shows up. But this is a very different feeling than the first buzz of attraction. Taking things slowly, and by that I mean postponing sex, that's what I mean, allows you to discover the nature of your feelings and the truth of the relationship rather than force it to become something. May you never again lose yourself to someone who shares with you anything less than their total interest and love for you. This is how you give your capacity for attachment the gentleness and space and support that it needs to heal. And instead of tearing you off your path, now falling for somebody carries you toward the solid, real love that you've always needed. You were born to love very deeply, and that's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to protect. Slowness is strength. Boundaries are love expressed through action. When you move slowly, you're not playing games, you're honoring the sacredness of your capacity to attach. It's a very precious thing. Someone is going to find that to be the greatest gift anyone ever gave them one day, that you are available to attach. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, I know the world tells you that being detached and flippant about all this is power or freedom, that love should be easy and optional and no big deal. But real strength is knowing what your heart tells you and what love is for. Take your time. Let people reveal who they are. You just need to be true to yourself and patient enough for real love to find you. And then maybe you'll be 62 years old one day, like me, looking back on all those horrible hardship relationships that you had before. Learn to slow down and let love reveal itself to you and find out at last what it's like to be loved for real. If you like this video, I've got one that you're going to love right here, and I'll see you very soon. You didn't have a chance to make mistakes based on your own choices. It's very difficult to make a satisfying choice or decision, like nothing fits.